As the Raleigh-Durham area continues to grow with 70 plus people moving here every single day, it begs the question, where are they all moving to? Well, today I'm going to show you the 5 Triangle communities that saw the most growth in home sales in 2024. And you're probably going to start to notice a trend as I go through the list. And if you want to know where the numbers dropped off the most, well, you'll have to wait till the end of the video for that. But first, a quick introduction if you don't know me. My name is Matt Martin, and I'm a Raleigh-based realtor. I've helped tons of clients, just like you, relocate to the Triangle region of North Carolina, and if you're looking to do the same, I'd love to help you too. So overall, we saw about 2% fewer single-family home sales across the Triangle in 2024 versus 2023. Now, everyone has a different definition of the Triangle, so for my purposes, I looked at about a 30-mile radius from the Research Triangle Park. And within that radius, that slowdown wasn't consistent at all. So today, I'm going to show you the top 5 communities that bucked the trend and saw significant growth. And we're going to kick things off at number 5 with Knightdale. Knightdale is located just east of Raleigh, and it saw a modest 3% growth in total home sales year over year. Now, one of the biggest appeals of Knightdale is its proximity to Raleigh. You're only about 10 minutes east of downtown, and it's bordered on its west by I-540 for convenient access to RTP and RDU in 30 minutes and Durham in about 40 minutes. And then on top of that, the last leg of the Outer Beltline expansion just broke ground, which will make getting to I-40 and the southern parts of the Triangle even easier. So we've seen a ton of focus turn to Knightdale in the last few years, and that's translated to a bunch of new construction sales. In fact, just over 200 of the 461 single-family homes sold in Knightdale last year were new construction, primarily in the subdivisions of Glenmere, Knightdale Station, and Stone River. Median home prices in Knightdale were $460,000 in 2024, which was up 16% from the previous year. Then at number 4, we have Willow Springs. I say that because you'll hear it pronounced both with and without that final S, and different people have different explanations for why. But that's for another conversation, and I'm going to keep the final S here. Willow Springs saw an increase in total home sales of just over 3%, much like Knightdale. And Willow Springs, it's an incorporated community, though you'll have lower taxes here since town services are not provided. So things like water will be handled by community utility companies, sewage by individual septic systems, trash by private companies, and policing by the county sheriff. The area has seen quite a bit of growth recently, also driven by the recent opening of the I-540 extension, but it will have a more rural feel than others on this list. But with that, you'll get more quiet, typically more land, and you still have easy access to downtown Raleigh, which is only about a 30-minute drive away. Sales leaned more towards the resale here, with new construction making up only about 39% of total sales. The median home price in Willow Springs was $430,000 in 2024, which was up just 2% from 2023. All right, so number 4 and number 5 weren't major growth numbers, but things are about to change. At number 3, we have the New Hill Moncure area, which saw an impressive 15% growth in home sales year over year. New Hill's growth is driven by new communities that have been popping up recently as the Triangle begins to expand its borders outward, which explains why 57% of all homes sold there last year were new construction, notably in the communities of Friendship Station and Olive Ridge. That said, much like Willow Springs, many parts of New Hill will still feel a bit more rural. New Hill is about 20 to 25 minutes south of RTP, 25 to 30 minutes south of downtown Raleigh, and 30 to 35 minutes from downtown Durham. But It's conveniently located just south of I-540, which just opened its newest stretch at the end of 2024. So this area of town has seen a ton of growth recently. It's also not far from Jordan Lake, which allows motorized boats and provides a great respite from the summertime heat. The median price in New Hill is quite a bit higher than what we saw in Knightdale and Willow Springs, coming in at $754,000 in 2024, which was still up 11% from 2023. Moving on to number 2, we have Angier, which experienced a whopping 16% growth in home sales last year. This tiny 3-square-mile town, which is the southernmost community on this list, is located about 21 miles south of downtown Raleigh, and it's grown tremendously over the past few years because, you guessed it, of the I-540 Outer Beltline expansion that I keep mentioning in this video, which has dramatically reduced drive times to the airport, Durham, and RTP. This will have a more rural feel, as I've said with some of these other communities, but its affordability has driven a ton of growth, which is why we saw over 350 new construction home sales here in 2024, accounting for over 60% of all sales. No one community was overly responsible for this total, but the largest contributors include Spring Village and Neils Point, both by DRB Homes, and Tobacco Road by Davidson Homes. The median home price in Angier is the lowest on the list at $360,000, which is pretty flat to what they were in 2023. And finally, at number 1, we have Wendell, which saw nearly 24% growth in home sales in 2024. Wendell is the easternmost community on the list, about 20 minutes east of downtown Raleigh. It has seen massive growth in the last 5 years with the development of Wendell Falls, which is a one-stop shop master plan community that'll eventually feature 3,000 to 4,000 homes, multiple restaurants, miles of trails, its own medical facilities, shopping, and more. Wendell Falls is an awesome option for those looking to have everything you need right at your front door while still being just a quick jaunt away from Raleigh. And I made a whole video about the community that you can check out here if you'd like to learn more. With such a massive new city within a city being built, it's no surprise that 64% of home sales in Wendell in 2024 were new construction. And it wasn't all just from Wendell Falls. Other big new communities include Mackenzie Meadows, Harper's Glen, and Anderson Farm. The median home price in Wendell was $410,000 last year, which was up only 1% from 2023. So those are the top 5 communities of the Triangle that saw the most growth in home sales in 2024. Want to know where the numbers dropped the most? Well, while we saw tons of growth in the eastern and southern communities, most of the fall off in sales happened in the northern and western communities, including Hillsboro, which was down 13%, Mooresville at 19%, Rollsville at 24%, Carborough at 25%, and finally the Mebane-Efland area at 26%. The why for these declines will have to wait for another video. If you're ready to kick off your home hunt here in the Triangle region, I'd love to be your guide. You can reach me by phone, email, or text, and you can find all my contact information in the link below or by scanning this QR code right here with your phone. And if you liked this video, I have a whole catalog of others all about moving to, living in, and buying real estate in and around Raleigh, North Carolina. Here's another one here that you may like, so give it a click to keep on watching.